Daniel chapter 1 The Food Test. In the third year of the reign of the Jehoiakim, king of Judah, king of Nebuchadnezzar of the Babylon came and raised siege to Jerusalem. The Lord handed over to him Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and some of the vessels of the temple of the God, which he carried up to the land of the Shinar, and placed in the temple treasury of his God. The king told Ashpenaz, his chief chamberlain, to bring in some of the Israelites, some of the royal line and of the nobilities. They should be young men without any defect, handsome, proficient in wisdom, well-informed, and insightful, such as could take their place in king's palace. He was to teach them the language and the literature of the Chaldeans. The king allotted them a daily portion of the food and wine from the royal table. After 3 years of training, they were to enter the king's service. Among these were Judean, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief chamberlain changed their names: Daniel to Belteshazzar, Hananiah to Shadrach, Mishael to the Meshach, and Azariah to Abednego. But Daniel was resolved not to defile himself with the king's food or wine, so he begged the chief chamberlain to spare him this defilement. Though God had given Daniel the favor and the sympathy of the chief chamberlains, he said to Daniel, "I am afraid of my lord the king, who allotted your food and drinks. If he sees that you look thinner in comparison to the other young men of your age, you will endanger my life with the king." Then Daniel said to Gideon, whom the chief chamberlain had put in the charge of Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, "Please test your servant for 10 days. Let us be given a vegetable to eat and water to drink. Then see how we look in comparison with the other young men who eat from the royal table, and treat your servant according to what you see." He agreed to recast and tested them for 10 days. After 10 days, they looked healthier and better fed than any of the young men who ate from the royal tables. So the steward continued to take away the food and wine they were to receive and gave them vegetables. To these 4 young men God gave knowledge and proficiency and in all riches and wisdom, and to Daniel to the understanding of all vision and dreams. At the end of the time the king had specified for their preparation, the chief chamberlain brought them before Nebuchadnezzar. When the king had spoken with all of them, none was found equal to Daniel's, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, and so they entered the king's service. In any question of the wisdom or understanding which the king put to them, he found them 10 times better than any of the magicians and the enchanters in his kingdom. And Daniel remained there until the first year of the king Cyrus. Daniel chapter 2 Nebuchadnezzar's dream. In the second year of his reign, King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream which left his spirit no rest and left him up his slave. So he ordered that the magicians, enchanters, sorcerers, and the Chaldeans be summoned to interpret the dream for him. When they came and presented themselves to the kings, he said to them, "I have a dream which will allow my spirit to no rest until I know what it means." The Chaldeans answered the king in Aramaic, "O king, live forever. Tell your servant the dream and we will give its meaning." The king answered the Chaldeans, "This is what I have decided, unless you tell me the dream and its meanings. You shall be cut to pieces and your houses made into a refuse heap. But if you tell me the dream and its meanings, you shall receive from gift and present and great honors." Therefore tell me the dream and its meaning. Again they answered, let the king tell his servant the dream and we will give its meaning. But the king replied, I know for certain that you are bargaining for time, since you know what I have decided. If you do not tell me the dream, there can be but one decree for you. You have conspired to present a false and deceitful interpretation to me until the crisis is past. Tell me the dreams, therefore, that I may be sure that you can also give its correct interpretations. The Chaldeans answered the king, there is not a man on earth who can do what you ask. O king, never has any king, however great and mighty, asked such a thing of any magician, enchanter, or Chaldeans. What you demand, O king, is too difficult. There is no one who can tell it to the king except the God, who do not dwell among people of flesh. At this the king became violently angry and ordered all the wise men of the Babylon to be put to death. When the decree was issued that the wise men should be slain, Daniel and his companion were also sought out. Then Daniel prudently took counsel with the Arioch, the chief of the king's guard, who had set out to kill the wise men of Babylon. He asked the Arioch, the official of the king, what is the reason for this harsh order from the king. When Arioch told him, Daniel went and asked for time from the king that he might give him the interpretations. Daniel went home and informed his companion Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah that might implore the mercy of the God of heaven in regard to his mystery, so that Daniel and his companion might not perish with the rest of the wise men of the Babylon. During the night, the mystery was revealed to Daniel in a vision, and he blessed the God of the heaven. Blessed be the name of the God forever and ever, for wisdom and the power are his. He caused the change of the time and the season, establishes the king and deposes them. He gives wisdom to the wise and the knowledge to those who understand. He reveals deep and hidden things and knows what is in darkness, for the light dwells with him. To you, God of my ancestors, I give thanks and praise, because you have given me wisdom and power. Now you have shown me what we ask of you. You have made known to us the king's dreams. So Daniel went to Arioch, whom the king had appointed to destroy the wise men of the Babylon, and said to him, do not put the wise men of the Babylon to death. Bring me before the king, and I'll tell him the interpretation of dreams. Arioch quickly brought Daniel to the king and said, I have found a man among the Judean exiles who can give the interpretation to the king. The king asked Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, can you tell me the dream that I have and its meaning? In the king's presence, Daniel made this reply, the mystery about which the king has inquired, the wise men, enchanter, magician, and the diviners could not explain to the king. But there is God in heaven who reveals mysteries, and he has shown King Nebuchadnezzar what is to happen in the last days. This was your dream, the vision you saw as you lay in bed. To you in your bed there came thought about what should happen in the future, and he would reveal his mysteries, showed you what is to be. To me also this mystery has been revealed, not that I am wiser than any other living person, but in order that its meaning may be made known to the king, that you may understand the thought of your own mind. In your vision, O king, you saw a statue, very large and exceedingly bright, terrifying in appearance as it stood before you. Its head was pure gold, its chest and arms were silver, its belly and thighs bronze, its legs iron, its feet partly iron and partly clay. Which you watched, the stone was hewn from the mountain without hand being put to it. And it struck its iron and the clay feet, breaking them in pieces. The iron, clay, bronze, silver, and gold all crumbled at once, fine as the chaff on the threshing floor in summer. And the wind blew them away without leaving a trace. But the stone that struck the statue became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. This was the dream, the interpretation we shall also give in the king's presence. You, O King, are the King of kings. To you, the God of heaven has given dominion and strength, power, and glory. Human beings, wild beasts, and the birds of the air, wherever they may dwell, he has handed over to you, making you rule over them all. You are the head of the girl. Another kingdom shall take your place, inferior to yours, then a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over the whole earth. There shall be a fourth kingdom, strong as iron. It shall break in pieces and subdue all these others, just as iron breaks in pieces and crushes everything else. The feet and toes you saw, pottery of clay and the pottery of iron, mean that it shall be a divided kingdom. But you have some of the hardness of iron, as you saw the iron mixed with clay tile. And the toes of pottery iron and the pottery clay, the kingdom shall be pottery strong and the pottery fragile. The iron mixed with clay means that they shall seal the alliance by intermarriage, but they shall not stay united any more than iron mixes with clay. In the lifetime of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed and delivered up to another people. Rather, it shall break in pieces all this kingdom and put an end to them, and it shall stand forever. That is the meaning of the stone you saw hewn from the mountain without hand being put to it, which broke in pieces the iron, bronze, clay, silver, and gold. The great God has revealed to the king what shall be in the future. This is exactly what you dreamed, and its meaning is sure. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell down and worshipped Daniel and ordered the sacrifice and the incense offered to him. To Daniel the king said, Truly your God is the God of the God and the Lord of kings and the revealer of the mysteries. That is why you were able to reveal this mystery. He advanced Daniel to high post, gave him many generous presents, made him ruler of the whole province of the Babylon and the chief prefect over all the wise men of the Babylon. At Daniel's request, the king made Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego administrator of the province of the Babylon, while Daniel himself remained at the king's court. Daniel chapter 3, the fiery furnace. King Nebuchadnezzar had a golden statue made 60 cubits high and 6 cubits wide, which he set up in the plain of the Dura in the province of the Babylon. He then ordered the satraps, prefect, and the governors, and the counselor, treasurer, judges, magistrate, and all the officials of the province to be summoned to the dedication of the statue which he had set up. The satraps, the prefect, and the governors, the counselor, treasurers, the judges, the magistrate, and all the officials of the province came together for the dedication and stood before the statue which King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. A herald cried out the nation and the people of the every languages. When you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, zither, dulcimer, harp, double flute, and all the other musical instruments, you must fall down and worship the golden statue which King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever does not fall down and worship shall be instantly cast into a white-hot furnace. Therefore, as soon as they heard the sound of the horn, the pipe, zither, dulcimer, harp, the double flute, and all the other musical instruments, the nation and the people of the every language all fell down and worshipped the golden statue which King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. At that point, the son of Chaldeans came and accused the Jews. The King Nebuchadnezzar's our kings live forever. O king, you issued a decree that everyone who heard the sound of the horn, pipe, zither, dulcimer, harp, and the double flute, and all the other musical instruments should fall down and worship the golden statue. Whoever did not was to be cast into a white knot of furnace. There are certain Jews whom you have made the administrator of the province of the Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, our king, have paid no attention to you. They will not serve your God and worship the golden statue which you set up. Nebuchadnezzar flew into a rage and sent for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who were promptly brought before the king. King Nebuchadnezzar questioned them, Is true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you will not serve my God or worship the golden statue that I set up? Now if you are ready to fall down and worship the statue I made, whenever you hear the sound of the hornpipe, zither, dulcimer, harp, double flute, and all the other musical instruments, then all will be well. If not, you shall be instantly cast into the white hot furnace. And who is the God who can deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered the king Nebuchadnezzar, There is no need for us to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If our God, whom we serve, can serve us from the white hot furnace and from your hands, our kings, may he save us. But even if he will not, you should know, O kings, that will be not serve your God or worship the golden statue which you set up. Nebuchadnezzar's face became livid with outrage against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times more than usual, and have some of the strongest men in his army bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and cast them into a white hot furnace. They were bound and cast into the white hot furnace with their trousers, short hats, and other garments. For the king's order was urgent, so huge a fire was kindled in the furnace that the flame devoured the men who threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into it. But the 3 fell bound into the midst of the white hot furnace. Prayer of the Azariah. They walked about in the flames, singing to the God and blessing the Lord. Azariah stood up in the midst of the fire and prayed aloud. Blessed are you and praiseworthy, O Lord, the God of our ancestors, and glorious forever is your name. For you are just in all you have done, all your deeds are faultless, all your ways are right, and all your judgment proper. You have exacted the proper judgment in all that you have brought upon us and upon Jerusalem, the holy city of our ancestors. By a proper judgment you have done all this because of our sins. For we have sinned and transgressed by departing from you, and we have done every kind of evils. Your commandment we have not heeded or observed, nor have we done as you ordered us for our good. Therefore, all you have brought upon us, all you have done to us, you have done by a proper judgment. You have handed us over to our enemies, lawless and hateful lovers, to an unjust king, the worst in all the world. Now we cannot open our mouths, shame and reproach have come upon us, your servant who revere you. For your name's sake, do not deliver us up forever, or make void your covenant. Do not take away your mercy from us, for the sake of Abraham your beloved, Isaac your servant, and Israel your holy ones, to whom you promised to multiply their offspring like the star of the heaven or the sand on the shore of the sea. For ye are reduced, O Lord, beyond any other nation, brought low everywhere in the world this day because of our sins. We have in our days no prince, prophet, or reader, no burnt offering, sacrifice, oblation, or incense, no place to offer first fruit to find favor with you. But with a contrite heart and a humble spirit, let us be received, as though we went burnt offering of the lamb and bulls, and the tens of the thousands of the fat lambs. So let our sacrifice be in your presence today, and find favor before you, for those who trust in you cannot be put to shame. And now we follow you with our whole heart. We fear you and seek your face. Do not put us to shame, but deal with us in your kindness and great mercy. Deliver us in accord with your wonders and bring glory to your name, O Lord. Let all those be put to shame which inflict evil in your servant. Let them be shamed and powerless, and their strength broken. Let them know that you alone are the Lord God, glorious over the whole world. Now the king's servant who had thrown them in continued to stroke the furnace with naphtha, pitch, tow, and brass. The flame rose 49 cubits above the furnace and spread out, burning the Chaldeans that echoed around the furnace. But the angel of the Lord went down into the furnace with Azariah and his companions, drove the fiery flames out of the furnace, and made the inside of the furnace as though a dew-laden breeze were blowing through it. The fire in no ways touched them or caused them pain and harm. Then the three in the furnace with one voice sang, glorifying and blessing God. Blessed are you, O Lord, the God of our ancestors, praiseworthy and exalted above all forever. And blessed is your holy and glorious name, praiseworthy and exalted above all for all ages. Blessed are you in the temple of your holy glory, praiseworthy and glorious above all forever. Blessed are you on the throne of your kingdom, praiseworthy and exalted above all forever. Blessed are you who look into the depths from your throne upon the cherubims, praiseworthy and exalted above all forever. Blessed are you in the firmament of the heaven, praiseworthy and glorious forever. Bless the Lord, all your work of the Lord, praise and exalt him above all the forever. Angel of the Lord, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. You heavens, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. All your worlds above the heavens, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. All your powers, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Sun and moon, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all the forever. Stars, heaven, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Every shower and dew, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. All you wind, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Fire and heat, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all the forever. Cold and chill, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Dew and rain, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Frost and chill, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. While frost and snow, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Night and days, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Light and darkness, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Lightning and clouds, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Let the earth bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Mountain and hills, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Everything growing on earth, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. You springs, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Seas and rivers, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. You sea, monsters and all water creature, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. All your birds of the air, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. All your beasts, wild and tame, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. All your mortals, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O Israel, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Priest of the Lord, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Servant of the Lord, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. The spirit and the soul of the just, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Holy and humble of the heart, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. For he was delivered us from Sephor and saved us from the power of the death. He has freed us from the raging flame and delivered us from the fire. Give thanks to the Lord who is good, whose mercy endures forever. Praise the God of the God, all you fear the Lord, praise and give thanks, for his mercy endures forever. A deliverance from the furnace. The king Nebuchadnezzar was startled and rose in haste, asking his counselor, "Did we not cast 3 men bound into the fire?" "Certainly, O king," they answered. But he replied, "I see 4 men unbound and unhurt, working in the fire, and the 4th looks like a son of God." Then Nebuchadnezzar came to the opening of the white hot furnace and called Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, 7 of the Most High God, come out. Thereupon the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire. When the satraps, prefect, the governor, and the council of the king came together, they saw that the fire had no power over the body of these men. Not a hair of their heads had been singed, nor were their garments altered. There was not even a smell of the fire about them. Nebuchadnezzar exclaimed, "Blessed be the God of the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who sent his angel to deliver the servant that trust in him." They disobeyed the royal command and aired their bodies, rather than serve and worship any god except their own God. Therefore I decree for nation and the people of every language that whoever blasphemes the God of the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut to pieces, and his house made into a refuse heap. For there is no other God who can rescue like this. Then the king promoted the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of the Babylon. King Nebuchadnezzar to the nation and the people of every language, wherever they dwell on earth, may your peace abound. It seems good to me to publish the sign and the wonders which the Most High God has accomplished in my regard. How great are his signs, how mighty his wonders. His kingship is an everlasting kingship, and his dominion endures through all generations. Daniel chapter 4. Nebuchadnezzar's madness. Nebuchadnezzar was at home in my palace, content and prosperous. I had a terrifying dream as I lay in bed, and the image and my vision frightened me. So I issued a decree that all the wise men of the Babylon should be brought before me to give the interpretation of the dream. When the magician, enchanters, Chaldeans, and the diviners had come in, I related the dream before them, but none of them could tell me its meaning. Finally, there came before me Daniel, whose name is Belteshazzar, after the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy God. I repeated the dream to him. Belteshazzar, the chief of the magician, I know that a spirit of the holy God is in you, and no mystery is too difficult for you. This is dream that I saw. Tell me its meaning. These were the vision I saw while in bed. I saw a tree of the great height at the center of the earth. It was large and strong, with its top touching the heavens, and it could be seen to the ends of the earth. Its leaves were beautiful, its fruit abundant, providing food for all. Under it the wild beasts found shade. In its branches the birds of the air nested, all flesh ate of it. In the vision I saw while in bed, the holy watchers came down from heaven, and cried aloud in these words, cut down the tree and lop off its branches, strip off its leaves and scatter its fruit. Let the beast flee from the beneath it and the birds from its branches. But leave its stump in the earth, bound with iron and bronze. Let him be fed with the grass of the field and bathed with the dew of the heaven. Let his lot be with the beast in the grass of the earth. Let his mind be changed from a human one. Let the mind of the beast be given him, till 7 years pass over him. By decree of the watchers is this proclamation, by the order of the holy ones this sentence, that all who live may know that Most High is sovereign over human kingship, giving it to whom he wills and setting over the lowest of the mortals. This is the dream that I, King Nebuchadnezzar, had. Now Belteshazzar, tell me its meaning. None of the wise men in my kingdom can tell me the meaning, but you can, because the Spirit of the Holy God is in you. Then Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was afraid for a time, dismayed by his thought. Belteshazzar, the king said to him, do not let the dream or its meaning dismay you, my lord. Belteshazzar replied, may this dream be for your enemy and its meaning for your foes. The tree that you saw, large and strong, its top touching the heavens, that could be seen by the whole earth. Its leaves beautiful, its fruit abundant, providing food for all, under which the wild beasts lived, and in whose branches the birds of the air dwelt. You are that tree, O king, large and strong. Your majesty has become so great as to touch the heavens, and your rule reaches to the end of the earth. As for the king, vision of the holy watcher who came down from heaven and proclaimed, cut down the tree and destroy it, but leave its stump in the earth. Bound with iron and bronze, let him be fed with the grass of the field, and bathed with the dew of the heaven. Let his lot be with wild beasts till 7 years pass over him. Here is its meaning, O king. Here is the sentence the Most High has passed upon my Lord King. You shall be cast out from human society and dwell with wild beasts. You shall be given grass to eat like oxen, be bathed with the dew of the heaven. 7 years shall pass over you until you know that the Most High is sovereign over human kingship and gives it to whom we will. The command that stump of the tree is to be left means that your kingdom shall be preserved for you once you have learned that heaven is sovereign. Therefore, O king, may my advice be acceptable to you. Atone for your sin by the good deeds, and for your misdeed by kindness to the poor. Then your contentment will be long-lasting. All this happened to King Nebuchadnezzar. 12 months later, as he was working on the roof of the royal palace in Babylon, the king said, Babylon the Great, was it not I with my great strength who built it as a royal residence for my splendor and majesty? While these words were still on the king's lips, a voice spoke from heaven. It has been decreed for you, King Nebuchadnezzar, that your kingship is taken from you. You shall be cast out from human society and shall dwell with wild beasts. You shall be given grass to eat like an ox. And 7 years shall pass over you until you learn that the Most High is sovereign over human kingship and gives it to whom he will. At once this was fulfilled. Nebuchadnezzar was cast out from human society. He ate the grass like an ox, and his body was bathed with the dew of the heaven, until his hair grew like a feathers of the eagle, and his nail like a claw of the bird. When this period was over, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes to heaven. My reason was restored to me, and I blessed the Most High. I praised and glorified the one who lives forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and whose kingdom endures through all generations. All who live on the earth are counted as nothing. He does as he wills with the power of the heaven, and with those who live on the earth. There is no one who can stay his hand or say to him, "What have you done?" At the same time, my reason returned to me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my majesty and my splendor returned to me. My counselor and the nobles sought me out. I was restored to my kingdom and became much greater than before. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and glorify the King of the heaven, all of whose works are right and ways just, and who is able to humble those who walk in pride. Daniel chapter 5, the writing on the wall. King Belshazzar gave a great banquet for 1,000 of his nobles, with whom he drank. Under the influence of the wine, he ordered the gold and the silver vessels which Nebuchadnezzar his father had taken from the temple in Jerusalem to be brought in, so that the king, his noble, and his consort, and his concubines might drink from them. When gold vessels taken from the temple, the house of God in Jerusalem, had been brought in, and while the king, his noble, his consort, and his concubine were drinking wine from them, they praised the God of the gold and silver, bronze and iron, wood and stone. Suddenly, opposite the lampstand, the finger of the human hand appeared, writing on the breast of the wall in the king's palace. When the king saw the hand that wrote, his face became pale. His thought terrified him. His hip joint shook, and his knees knocked. The king shouted for the enchanters, Chaldeans, and the diviner to be brought in. Whoever reads this writing and tells me what it means, he said to the wise men of the Babylon, shall be clothed in purple, wear a chain of the gold around his neck, and be thrown in governing the kingdom. But though all the king's wise men came in, none of them could either read the writing or tell the king what it meant. Then King Belshazzar was greatly terrified. His face became pale, and his nobles were thrown into confusion. When the king heard of the discussion between the king and his nobles, she entered the banquet hall and said, "O king, live forever. Do not let your thought terrify you, or your face become so pale. There was man in your kingdom in whom is a spirit of the holy God. During the lifetime of your father, he showed brilliant insight and God-like wisdom. King Nebuchadnezzar, your father, made him chief of the magicians, enchanters, Chaldeans, and diviners. Because this Daniel, whom the king named Belshazzar, has shown an extraordinary spirit, knowledge, and insight in interpreting dreams, explaining riddles, and solving problems, let him now be summoned to tell you what this means." Then Daniel was brought into the presence of the king. The king asked him, "Are you the Daniel, one of the Jewish exiles, whom my father the king brought from Judah? I've heard that the Spirit of the God is in you, that you have shown brilliant insight and extraordinary wisdom." The wise men and the enchanter were brought in to me to read this writing and tell me its meaning, but they could not say what the words meant. But I've heard that you can give interpretation and solve problems. Now, if you are able to read the writing and tell me what it means, you shall be clothed in purple, wear a chain of the gold around your neck, and be thrown in governing the kingdom. Daniel answered the king, "You may keep your gift or give your present to someone else, but the writing I will read for the king and tell what it means. The Most High God gave your father Nebuchadnezzar's kingship, greatness, splendor, and majesty. Because he made him so great, the nation and the people of every language dread and feared him. Whomever he willed, he would kill or let live. Whomever he willed, he would exalt or humble. But when his heart became proud and his spirit hardened by insolence, he was put down from his royal throne and deprived of his glory. He was cast out from human society, and his heart was made like that of a beast. He lived with wild asses and ate grass like an ox. His body was bathed with the dew of the heaven until he learned that the Most High God is sovereign over human kingship and set over it whom he will. You, his son Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you know all this. You have rebelled against the Lord of the heaven. You had the vessel of the temple brought before you, so that you and your nobles, your consort, and your concubines might drink wine from them. And you praised the God of the silver and gold, the bronze and iron, wood and stone, that neither see nor hear nor have intelligence. But the God in whose hand is your very breath and the whole course of your life, you did not glorify. By him was the hand sent and the writing set down. This is the writing that was inscribed, Mene, Tekel, and Peres. These words mean, Mene, God has numbered your kingdom and put an end to it. Tekel, you have been weighed on the scale and found wanting. Peres, your kingdom has been divided and given to the Medes and the Persia. Then by order of the Belshazzar, they clothed Daniel in purple with a chain of the gold around his neck, and proclaimed him third in governing the kingdom. That very night, the Belshazzar, the Chaldeans' king, was slain. Daniel chapter 6. And Darius the Mede succeeded to the kingdom at the age of 62. The Lion Den. Darius decided to appoint over his entire kingdom 120 satraps. These were accountable to 3 ministers, one of whom was Daniel. The satrap reported to them so that the king should suffer no loss. Daniel outshone all the ministers and the satrap because an extraordinary spirit was in him, and the king considered setting him over the entire kingdom. Then the minister and the satraps tried to find the ground for the accusation against Daniel regarding the kingdom, but they could not accuse him of any corruption. Because he was trustworthy, no fault of the corruption was to be found in him. Then these men said to themselves, "We shall find no ground for accusation against Daniel except in connection with the law of his God." So these ministers and the satraps stormed into the king and said to him, "King Darius, live forever." All the ministers of the kingdom, the prefect, satraps, counselors, and governors agreed that following prohibition ought to be put in force by royal decree. For 30 days, whoever makes a petition to anyone, divine or human, except to you, our king, shall be thrown into a den of the lions. Now, O king, let prohibition be issued over your signature, immutable and irrevocable, according to the law of the Medes and the Persia. So the king Darius signed the prohibition into law. Even after Daniel heard that this law had been signed, he continued his custom of going home to kneel in prayer and give thanks to his God in the upper chamber 3 times a day, with the windows open toward Jerusalem. So these men stormed in and found Daniel praying and pleading before his God. Then they went to remind the king about the prohibition. "Did you not sign a decree, our king, that for 30 days whoever makes a petition to anyone, divine or human, except to you, Our king shall be cast into a den of the lions. The king answered them, the decree is absolute, irrevocable under the law of the Medes and the Persians. To this they replied, Daniel, one of the Jewish exiles, has paid no attention to you, our king, or to the prohibition you signed. 3 times a day he offers his prayer. The king was deeply grieved at this news, and he made up his mind to save Daniel. He worked till sunset to rescue him. But these men pressed the king, keep in mind, our king, they said, that under the law of the Medes and the Persians, every royal prohibition or decree is irrevocable. So the king ordered Daniel to be brought and cast into a lion den. To Daniel he said, your God whom you serve so constantly must save you. To forestall any tampering, the king sealed with his own ring and the ring of the Lord the stone that had been brought to block the opening of the den. Then the king returned to the palace for the night. He refused to eat and he dismissed the entertainers since sleep was impossible for him. The king rose very early the next morning and hastened to the lion's den. As he drew near, he cried out to Daniel sorrowfully, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God whom you serve so constantly been able to save you from the lions? Daniel answered the king, our king, live forever. My God sent his angel and closed the lions' mouths so that they have not hurt me. For I have been found innocent before him, neither have I done you any harm, our king. This gave the king great joy at his order. Daniel has brought up from the den. He was found to be unharmed because he trusted in his God. The king then ordered the men who had accused Daniel along with their children and their wives to be cast into the lion's den. Before they reached the bottom of the den, the lion overpowered them and crushed all their bones. The king Darius wrote to the nation and the people of every language, wherever they dwell on the earth, may your peace abound. I decree that throughout my royal domain, the God of Daniel is to be reverenced and feared, for he is a living God, enduring forever, whose kingdom shall not be destroyed, whose dominion shall be without end. A Savior and a Deliverer, working signs and wonders in heaven and on earth, who saved Daniel from the lion's power. So Daniel fared well during the reign of the Darius and the reign of the Cyrus the Persian. Daniel chapter 7. The Beast and Judgment. In the first year of the king Belshazzar of the Babylon, as Daniel lay in bed, he had a dream and vision in his head. Then he wrote down the dream. The account began. In the vision I saw during the night, suddenly the 4 winds of the heaven stirred up the great sea, from which emerged 4 immense beasts, each different from the others. The first was like a lion, but with the eagle's wings. While I watched, the wings were plucked. It was raised from the ground to stand on 2 feet like a human being and given a human mind. The second beast was like a bear. It was raised up on one side, and among the teeth in its mouth were 3 tusks. It was given the order, arise, devour much flesh. After this I looked and saw another beast like a leopard. On its back were 4 wings like those of the bird, and it had 4 heads. To this beast dominion was given. After this, in the vision of the night, I saw a 4th beast, terrifying, horrible, and of the extraordinary strength. It had great iron teeth with which I devoured and crushed, and it trembled with its feet waters lapped. It differed from the beast that preceded it. It had the 10 horns. I was considering the 10 horns it had when suddenly another little horns sprang out of their midst, and 3 of the previous horns were torn away to make room for it. This one had eyes like human eyes and a mouth that spoke arrogantly. As I watched, the thrones were set up, and the Ancient of the Days took his throne. His clothing was white as snow, the hair on his head like pure earth. His throne was a flame of fire with wheels of the burning fire. A river of the fire surged forth, flowing from where he sat. Thousands upon thousands were ministering to him, and myriad upon myriad stood before him. The court was convened, and the books were opened. I watched them from the first of the arrogant words which the horn spoke, until the beast was slain and its body destroyed and thrown into the burning fire. As for the other beasts, their dominion was taken away, but they were granted a prolongation of life for time and season. As the vision during the night continued, I saw coming with the cloud of the heaven one like a son of man. When he reached the Ancient of the Days and was presented before him, he received dominion, splendor, and kingship. All nations, people, and the tongues will serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that shall not pass away. His kingship one that shall not be destroyed. Because of this, my spirit was anguished, and I, Daniel, was terrified by my visions. I approached one of those present and asked him the truth of all this. In answer, he made known to me its meaning. These four great beasts stand for four kings which shall arise on the earth. But the holy ones of the Most High shall receive the kingship to possess it forever and ever. Then I wish to make certain about the fourth beast, so very terrible and different from the others, devouring and crushing with its iron teeth and bronze claws, and trembling with its feet what was left. And about the 10 horns on its head, and the other one that sprang up, before which 3 thorns fell, and about the horn with the eyes and the mouth that spoke arrogantly, which appeared greater than its fellows. For as I watched, that horn made war against the holy ones and was victorious, until the Ancient of the Days came, and the judgment was pronounced in favor of the holy ones of the Most High. And the time arrived for the holy ones to possess the kingship. He answered me thus: the fourth beast shall be a first kingdom on earth, different from all the others. The whole earth it shall devour, trample down, and crush. The 10 horns shall be 10 kings rising out of that kingdom. Another shall rise up after them, different from those before him, who shall lay low the 3 kings. He shall speak against the Most High and wear down the holy ones of the Most High, intending to change the feast day and the law. They shall be handed over to him for a time, 2 times, and half a time. But when the court is convened and his dominion is taken away, to be abolished and completely destroyed, then the kingship and the dominion and the majesty of all the kingdom under the heaven shall be given to the people of the holy ones of the Most High, whose kingship shall be an everlasting kingship, whom all dominion shall serve and obey. This is the end of the report. Daniel was greatly terrified by my thought, and my face became pale, but I kept the matter to myself. Daniel chapter 8, the ram and the he-goat. After this first vision, I, Daniel, had another in the 3rd year of the reign of the king Belshazzar. In my vision, I saw myself in the fortress of the Susa in the province of the Iram. I was beside the river Ulai. I looked up and saw standing by the river a lamb with 2 great horns, the one larger and newer than the other. I saw the ram budding toward the west, north, and south. No beast could withstand it or be rescued from its power. It did what it pleased and grew powerful. I was reflecting, a he-goat with a prominent horn on its forehead suddenly came from the west across the whole earth without touching the ground. It came to the two-horned lamb I had seen standing by the river and rushed toward it with savage force. I saw it reach the ram enraged. The he-goat attacked and shattered both its horns. The ram did not have the strength to withstand it. The he-goat threw the lamb to the ground and trembled upon it. No one could rescue the lamb from its power. The he-goat grew very powerful, but at the height of its strength, the great horn was shattered, and in its place came out four others facing the four winds of heaven. Out of one of them came little horns which grew and grew toward the south, the east, and the glorious land. It grew even to the host of the heavens, so that it cast down to the earth some of the host and some of stars and trembled on them. It grew even to the prince of the host, from whom the daily sacrifice was removed and whose sanctuary was cast down. The host was given over together with the daily sacrifice in the course of the transgression. It cast the truth to the ground and was succeeding in its undertaking. I heard the Holy One speaking, and another said to whichever one it was that spoke, "How long shall the event of the vision last concerning the daily sacrifice? The desolating sin, the giving over the sanctuary, and the host of the poor trembling?" He answered him, "For 2,300 the evening and the mornings, then the sanctuary shall be set right." While I, Daniel, saw the meaning of the vision, I had seen one who looked like the man stood before me. And on the Uri I heard the human voice that cried out. Gabriel explained the vision to this man. When he came near where I was standing, I fell prostrate in terror, but he said to me, "Understand, O son of man, that the vision refers to the end time." As he spoke to me, I fell forward unconscious. He touched me and made me stand up. "I'll show you," he said, "what is to happen in the last day of the lives, for it is for the appointed time of the end." The two-horned ram Yusuf represented the king of the Medes and the Persians. The he-goat is the king of the Greeks, and the great horn on its forehead is the first king. The four that rose in its place when it was shattered are four kingdoms that will issue from his nation, but without his strength. At the end of their reign, when sinners have reached their measures, there shall arise a king, impudent and skilled in intrigues. He shall be strong and powerful, bring about the fearful ruin, and succeed in his undertaking. He shall destroy powerful peoples. His cunning shall be against the holy ones. His treacherous conduct shall succeed. He shall be proud of heart and destroy many by stealth. But when he rises against the prince of the princes, he shall be broken without the hand being raised. As for the vision of the evening and the mornings, what was spoken is true, but you keep this vision secret. It is for distant future. I, Daniel, was weak and ill from some days. Then I arose and took care of the king's affairs, but the vision left me desolate without the understanding. Daniel chapter 9, the 70th week of the years. It was the first year of the Darius, son of the Ahasuerus, of the race of the Medes, reigned over the kingdom of the Chaldeans. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, perceived in the books the number of the years the Lord had decreed to the prophet Jeremiah. Jerusalem was to lie in ruins for 70 years. I turned to the Lord God to seek help in prayer and petition with fasting, sackcloth, and ashes. I prayed to the Lord my God and confessed, "Our Lord, great and awesome God, you who keep your covenant and show mercy toward those who love you and keep your commandment and your precept." We have sinned, been wicked, and done evil. We have rebelled and turned from your commandment and your laws. We have not obeyed your servant, the prophet. You spoke in your name to our kings, our princes, our ancestors, and all the people of the land. Justice, O Lord, is on your side. We are shamefaced even to this day, the men of the Judah, the residents of the Jerusalem, and all Israel near and far. In all the land to which you have scattered them because of their treachery toward you. O Lord, we are ashamed like our kings, our princes, and our ancestors for having sinned against you. But to the Lord our God belong compassion and forgiveness, though we rebelled against him, and did not hear the voice of the Lord our God by walking in his law given to his servant the prophet. The curse and the oaths written in the law of Moses, the servant of the God, were poured out over us for our sins, because all Israel transgressed your law and turned aside, refusing to hear your voice. He fulfilled the words he spoke against us and against those who ruled us by bringing upon us an evil. No evil so great has happened under heaven as happened in Jerusalem. As it is written in the law of Moses, this evil has come upon us. We did not appease the Lord our God by turning back from our wickedness and acting according to your truth. So the Lord kept watch over the evil and brought it upon us. The Lord our God is just in all that he has done. We did not listen to his voice. Now, Lord our God, who led your people out of the land of Egypt with a strong hand and made a name for yourself, even to this day, we have sinned, we are guilty. Lord, in keeping with all your just deeds, let your anger and your wrath be turned away from your city, Jerusalem, your holy mountains. On account of our sins, the crime of our ancestors, Jerusalem and your people have become the reproach of all our neighbors. Now, our God, hear the prayer and the petition of your servant, and for your own sake, Lord, let your face shine upon your desolate sanctuaries. Give ear, my God, and listen. Open your eyes and look upon our desolate city upon which your name is invoked. When we present our petition before you, we rely not on your just deeds, but on your great mercy. Lord, hear, Lord, pardon. Lord, be attentive and act without delay for your own sake, my God, because your name is invoked upon your city and your peoples. I was still praying to the Lord my God, confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, presenting my petition concerning the holy mountain of my God. I was still praying when the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in a vision before, came to me in fright at the time of the evening offering. He instructed me in these words, Daniel, I have now come to give you understanding. When you began your petition, an answer was given. I have come to announce, because you have beloved, therefore mark the answer and understand the vision. 70 weeks are decreed for your people and for your holy city. Then transgression will stop and the sin will end. Guilt will be expiated. Everlasting justice will be introduced. The vision and the prophecy ratified, and the Holy of the Holies will be anointed. Know and understand from the utterance of the word that Jerusalem was to be revealed. Until there is an anointed ruler, there shall be 7 weeks. In the course of the 62 weeks, it shall be revealed with the skill and the trenches in the time of the affliction. After 62 weeks, an unanointed one shall cut down with no one to help him, and the people of the reader who will come shall destroy the city and the sanctuaries. His end shall come in a flood until the end of the world, which is decreed. There will be desolation. For 1 week he shall make a firm covenant with the many. Half the week he shall abolish sacrifice and offering. In their place shall be the desolating abomination until the ruin that is decreed is poured out upon the desolator. Daniel chapter 10, an angelic vision. In the third year of the Cyrus, king of the Persia, a revelation was given to Daniel, who had been named Belteshazzar. The revelation was certain, a great war. He understood this from the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, mourned 3 or 4 weeks. I ate no savory food, took no meat or wine, and did not anoint myself at all until the end of the 3 weeks. On the 24th day of the first month, I was on the bank of the great river, the Tigris. As I looked up, I saw a man dressed in the linen with a belt of the fine gold around his waist. His body was like a chrysolite, his face shone like lightning, his eyes were like fiery torches, his arms and feet looked like burnished bronze, and the sound of his voice was like a roar of the multitude. I alone, Daniel, saw the vision, but great fear seized those who were with me. They fled and hid themselves, although they did not see the vision. So I was left alone, seeing this great vision. No strength remained in me. I turned the color of the death and was powerless. When I heard the sound of his voice, I fell face forward unconscious. But then a hand touched me, raising me to my hands and knees. Daniel, beloved, he said to me, understand the words which I am speaking to you. Stand up, for my mission now is to you. When he said this to me, I stood up trembling. Do not fear, Daniel, he continued. From the first day you made up your mind to acquire understanding and humble yourself before God. Your prayer was heard. Because of it, I started out. But the prince of the kingdom of the Persia stood in my way for 21 days until finally Michael, one of the deep princes, came to help me. I left him there with the prince of the kingdom of the Persia, and came to make you understand what shall happen to your people in the last days, for there is yet a vision concerning those days. While he was speaking thus to me, I fell forward and kept silent. Then something like a hand touched my lips. I opened my mouth and said to the one standing before me, my Lord, I was seized with pangs at the vision, and I was powerless. How can my Lord's servant speak with you, my Lord? For now no strength or even breath is left in me. The one who looks like a man touched me again and strengthened me, saying, do not fear, beloved, peace, take courage and be strong. When he spoke to me, I grew strong and said, speak, my Lord, for you have strengthened me. Do you know, he asked, why I have come to you? Soon I must fight the prince of the Persia again. When I leave, the prince of the Greece will come. But I shall tell you what is written in the book of the truth. No one support me against these except Michael, your prince. Daniel chapter 11. And the first year of the Darius the Mede, I stood to strengthen him and be his refuge. The Hellenistic age. Now I shall tell you the truth. The 3 kings of the Persia are yet to appear, and the fourth shall acquire the greatest riches of all. Strengthened by his riches, he shall store up all kingdom, even that of Greece. But the powerful king shall appear and rule with great might, doing as he wills. No sooner shall he appear than his kingdom shall be broken and divided in 4 directions under heaven, but not among his descendants or in keeping with his mighty rule. For his kingdom shall be torn to pieces and belong to others. The king of the south shall grow strong, but all of his princes shall grow stronger still and govern a domain greater than his. After some years they shall become allies. The daughter of the king of the south shall come to king of the north to carry out the alliance. But she shall not retain power, and his offspring shall not survive, and she shall be given up together with those who brought her son and her supporter in due time. A descendant of her line shall succeed to his place and shall come against the army, enter the stronghold of the king of the north, attack and conquer them. Even their God with their molten image and their precious vessel of the silver and gold he shall carry away as a spoil of the war into Egypt. For years he shall have nothing to do with the king of the north. Then the latter shall invade the land of the king of the south and return to his own countries. But his son shall be aroused and assemble a great armed host which shall pass through like a flood and again the surge around the stronghold. The king of the south enraged shall go out to fight against the king of the north, who shall fail the great host, but the host shall be given into his hand. When the host is carried off in the pride of his heart, he shall bring down tens of thousands, but he shall not triumph. For the king of north shall raise another army greater than before. After some years he shall attack with this large army and greater resources. In those times many shall resist the king of the south, and the violent ones among your people shall rise up in fulfillment of vision, but they shall stumble. When the king of north comes, he shall set up the siege works and take the fortified city by storm. The force of the south shall not withstand him, and not even his picked troops shall have the strength to withstand. The invader shall do as he wills with no one to withstand him. He shall stop in the glorious land, and it shall all be in his power. He shall resolve to come with the entire strength of his kingdom. He shall make an alliance with him and give him a daughter in marriage in order to destroy him, but this shall not stand. He shall turn to coastland and take many prisoners, but the commander shall put an end to his shameful conduct, so that he cannot retaliate. He shall turn to the stronghold of his own land, but shall stumble and fall, to be found no more. In his stead one shall arouse who will send the collect of the tribute through the glorious kingdom, but he shall soon be destroyed, though not in conflict or in battle. There shall arise in his place a despicable person, to whom the royal insignia shall not be given. He shall enter by stealth and seize the kingdom by fraud. The forces shall be completely overwhelmed by him and crushed, even the prince of the covenant. After making alliance, he shall treacherously rise to power with only a few supporters. By stealth he shall enter prosperous province and do what which your father or grandfather never did. He shall distribute spoil, plunder, and riches among them, and devise a plot against their stronghold. He shall rouse his strength and courage to meet the king of the south with a great army. The king of the south shall go into battle with a very large and strong army, but he shall not stand because of the plot devised against him. Even his table companions shall seek to destroy him. His army shall be overwhelmed, and many shall be struck down. The two kings resolved on evil shall sit at table together and exchange lies, but they shall have no success, because the appointed end is not yet. He shall turn back toward his land with great riches, his mind set against the holy covenant. He shall take action or return to his land. At the time appointed he shall come again to the south, but this time it shall not be as before. When the ship of the Kittim confront him, he shall lose heart and retreat. Then he shall raise against the holy covenant and take action. He shall again favor those who forsake the holy covenant. The forces shall rise at his command and defile the sanctuary stronghold, abolishing the daily sacrifice and setting up the desolating abomination. By his deceit he shall make some who were disloyal forsake the covenant, but those who remain loyal to their God shall take a strong action. Those with insight among the people shall instruct the many, though for time the sword, the flame, exile, and plunder will cause them to stumble. When they stumble, they will be helped, but only a little many shall join them, but out of treacheries. Some of those with the inside shall stumble so that they may be tested, refined, and purified until the end time which is still appointed to come. The king shall do as he wills, exalting himself and making himself greater than any god. He shall utter dreadful blasphemies against the God of God. He shall prosper only till the rest is finished, for what is determined must take place. He shall have no regard for God of his ancestors or for the one in whom woman delight, for no God shall he give regard, because he shall make himself greater than ours. Instead, he shall give glory to God of strongholds, a God unknown to his ancestors. He shall glorify with gold, silver, precious stone, and other treasures. He shall act for those fortified stronghold, the people of the foreign God, whom he has recognized. He shall greatly honor them. He shall make them rule over the many and distribute the land as a reward. At the end time, the king of the south shall engage him in the battle, but the king of the north shall overwhelm him with the chariot and the horsemen and the great fleet, passing through the lands like a flood. He shall enter glorious land, and many shall fall, except Edom, Moab, and the chief part of the Ammon, which shall escape his power. He shall extend his power over the land, and not even Egypt shall escape. He shall control the rich of the gold and the silver and all the treasure of the Egypt. Libya and Ethiopia shall be in his entourage. When a rapper from the east and the north disturb him, he shall set out with great fury to destroy many, putting them under the ban. He shall pitch the tents of his royal pavilion between the sea and the glorious holy mountain, but he shall come to his end with none to help him. Daniel chapter 12, the resurrection. At that time there shall arise Michael, the great prince, guardian of your people. It shall be time unsurpassed in distress. Since the nation began until that time, at that time your people shall escape, everyone who is found written in the book. Many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, others to reproach and everlasting disgrace. But those with the inside shall shine brightly like the splendor of the firmament, and those who lead many to the justice shall be like stars forever. As for you, Daniel, keep secret the message and seal the book until the end of time. Many shall wander aimlessly, and evil shall increase. I, Daniel, looked and saw two others, one standing on either bank of the rivers. One of them said to man clothed in linen who was upstream, "How long shall it be to the end of these appalling things?" The man clothed in linen who was upstream lifted his hand to heaven, and I heard him swear by him who lives forever, that it should be for time, 2 times and half a time, and that when the power of the destroyer of the holy people was brought to an end, all these things should end. I heard, but I did not understand, so I asked my Lord, what follows this? Go, Daniel, he said, because the words are to be kept secret and sealed until the end of time. Many shall be refined, purified, and tested, but the wicked shall prove wicked. The wicked shall have no understanding, but those with the insight shall. From the time that daily sacrifice is abolished and the desolate abomination is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed are they who have patience and preserve for the 1,335 days. Go take your rest, you shall rise for your reward at the end of days. Daniel chapter 13, Susanna. In Babylon there lived a man named Joachim, who married a very beautiful and God-fearing woman, Susanna, the daughter of the Hilkiah. Her parents were writers and had trained their daughter according to the law of the Moses. Joachim was very rich and he had a garden near his house. The Jews had recourse to him often because he was the most respected of them all. That year, 2 elders of the people were appointed judges, of whom the Lord said, "Lawlessness has come out of the Babylon," that is, from the elder who was governed the people as judges. These men, to whom all brought their cases, frequented the house of the Joachim. When the people left at noon, Susanna used to enter her husband's garden for walks. When the elders saw her enter every day for her works, they began to lust for her. They perverted their thinking. They would not allow their eyes to look to heaven and did not keep in mind just the judgment. Though both were enamored of her, they did not tell each other their troubles, for they were ashamed to reveal their lustful desire to have her. Day by day they watched eagerly for her. One day they said to each other, "Let us be off for him. It's time for the noon meal." So they went their separate ways. But both turned back and arrived at the same spot. When they asked each other the reason, they admitted their lust, and then they agreed to look for occasion when they could find her alone. One day, while they were waiting for the right moment, she entered as usual with 2 maids only, wanting to bathe in the garden, for the weather was warm. Nobody else was there except the 2 elders who had hidden themselves and were watching her. "Bring me oil and soap," she said to the maids, "and shut the garden gate while I was bathed." They did as she said. They shut the garden gate and left by the side gate to fetch what she had ordered, unaware that the elders were hidden inside. As soon as the maid had left, the 2 old men got up and ran to her. "Look," they said, "the garden doors are shut. No one can see us, and we want you, so give in to our desire and lie with us. If you refuse, we will testify against you that a young man was here with you, and that is why you sent your maid away." "I am completely trapped," Susanna groaned. "If I yield, it will be my death. If I refuse, I cannot escape your power. Yet it is better for me not to do it and to fall into your power than to sin before the Lord." Then Susanna screamed, and the 2 old men also shouted at her, as one of them ran to open garden gate. When the people in the house heard the cry from the garden, they rushed in by the side gate to see what happened to her. At the accusation of the old man, the servant felt, for never had any such things been said about Susanna. When the people came to her husband Joachim the next day, the 2 wicked old men also came, full of the lawless intent to put Susanna to death. Before the people, they ordered the same for the Susanna, the daughter of the Hilkiah, the wife of Joachim, when she was sent for. She came with her parents, children, and all her relatives. Susanna, very delicate and beautiful, was veiled, but those transgressors of the law ordered that she be exposed so as to sate themselves with her beauty. All her companions and onlookers were weeping. In the midst of the people, the 2 old men rose up and laid their hands on her head. As she wept, she looked up to heaven, for she trusted in the Lord wholeheartedly. The old man said, "As we were walking in the garden alone, this woman entered with 2 servant girls, shut the garden gate, and sent the servant girls away. A young man who was hidden there came and lay with her. When we in corner of the garden saw the lawlessness, we ran toward them. We saw them lying together, but the man we could not hold because he was stronger than we. He opened the gate and ran out. Then we seized this one and asked who the young man was, but she refused to tell us. We testify to this, the assembly believed them, since they were elders and judges of the peoples, and they condemned her to death. But Susanna cried aloud, Eternal God, you know what is hidden and are aware of all things before they come to be. You know that they have testified falsely against me. Here I am about to die, though I have done none of things for which these men have condemned me. The Lord heard her prayer. As she was being led to execution, God stirred up the Holy Spirit of the young boy named Daniel, and he cried aloud, I am innocent of this woman's blood. All the people turned and asked him, What are you saying? He stood in their midst and said, Are you such fools, you Israelites, to condemn a daughter of Israel without investigation and without clear evidence? Return to court, for they have testified falsely against her. Then all the people returned in haste to Daniel. The elder said, Come sit with us and inform us, since God has given you the prestige of old age. But he replied, Separate these two far from one another, and I will examine them. After they were separated from each other, he called one of them and said, How you have grown evil with the age, now have your past sins come to term. Passing unjust sentences, condemning the innocent and freeing the guilty, although the law says, The innocent and unjust you shall not put to death. Now then, if you were witnesses, tell me under what trees you saw them together. Under mastic trees, he answered, Your fine lies has cost you your head, said Daniel, for the angel of God has already received the sentence from God and shall split you in two. Pulling him to one side, he ordered the other one to be brought, the offspring of the Canaanites, not of Judah. Daniel said to him, Beauty has seduced you, and lust has perverted your heart. This is how you act with the daughter of the Israel, and in their fear they ear to you. But a daughter of the Judah did not tolerate your lawlessness. Now then tell them under what trees you surprised them together. Under an oak, he said, Your fine lie has cost you also your head, said Daniel, for the angel of God waited with the sword to cut you into so as to destroy you both. The whole assembly cried aloud, Blessing God, you saves those who hope in him. They rose against the two old men, for by their own words Daniel had convicted them of the bearing false witness. They condemned them to the fate they had planned for their neighbors. In accordance with the law of the Moses, they put them to death. Thus was innocent blood spared that day. Hilkiah and his wife praised God for their daughter Susanna with Joachim her husband and all her relatives, because she was found innocent of any shameful deed. And from that day onward, Daniel was greatly esteemed by the peoples. Daniel chapter 14, Bel and the Dragon. After King Astyages was gathered to his ancestor, the Cyrus the Persian succeeded to his kingdom. Daniel was a companion of the king and was held in higher honor than any of the friends of the king. The Babylonian had an idol called Bel, and every day they provided for it 6 bushels of the fine flour, 40 sheep, and 6 measures of the wine. The king revered it and went every day to worship, but Daniel worshipped only his God. When the king asked him, Why do you not worship Baal? Daniel replied, Because I do not revere idols made with hands, but only the living God who made heaven and earth and has dominion over all flesh. Then the king continued, You do not think Baal is a living God? Do you not see how much he eats and drinks every day? Daniel began to laugh. Do not be deceived, O king, he said. It is only clay inside and bronze outside. It has never eaten and drunk anything. Enraged, the king called his priests and said to them, unless you tell me who it is that consumed these provisions, you shall die. But if you can show that Baal consumes them, Daniel shall die for blaspheming Baal. Daniel said to the king, let it be as you say. There was a 70 priests of the Baal beside their wives and children. When the king went with Daniel into the temple of the Baal, the priest of the Baal said, see, we are going to leave you, O king. Set out the food and prepare the wine. Then shut the door and seal it with your ring. If you do not find that Baal has eaten it all when you return in the morning, we are to die. Otherwise, Daniel shall die for his lies against us. They were not perturbed because under the table they had made a secret entrance through which they always came in to consume the food. After they departed, the king set the food before Baal, while Daniel ordered his servant to bring some ashes, which they scattered through the whole temple. The king alone was present. Then they went outside, sealed the closed door with the king's ring, and departed. The priests entered that night as usual with their wives and children, and they ate and drank everything. Earlier the next morning, the king came with Daniel. Are the seals unbroken, Daniel? He asked, and Daniel answered, they are unbroken, our kings. As soon as he had opened the door, the king looked at the table and cried aloud, you are great, O Baal, there is no deceit in you. But Daniel laughed and kept the king from entering. He said, look at the floor and consider whose footprints these are. I see the footprints of men, women, and children, said the king. In the rest, the king arrested the priests, their wives, and their children. They showed him the secret door by which they used to enter to consume what was on the tables. The king put them to death and handed Baal over to Daniel, who destroyed it and its temples. There was a great dragon which the Babylonian revered. The king said to Daniel, you cannot deny that this is a living God, so worship it. But Daniel answered, I worship the Lord my God, for he is a living God. Give me permission, O king, and I will kill this dragon without the sword on the club. I give you permission, the king said. Then the Daniel took some pitch, fat, and hair. These he boiled together and made into the cake. He put them into the mouth of the dragon, and when the dragon ate them, he burst. This, he said, is what you revealed. When the Babylonians heard this, they were angry and turned against the king. The king has become a Jew, they said. He has destroyed Baal, killed the dragon, and put the priest to death. They went to the king and demanded, hand Daniel over to us, or we will kill you and your families. When he saw himself threatened with violence, the king was forced to hand Daniel over to them. They threw Daniel into a lion den, where he remained 6 days. In the den were 7 lions, 2 carcasses, and 2 sheep had been given to them daily. But now they were given nothing, so that they would devour Daniel. The prophet Habakkuk was in Judea. He mixed some bread in the bowl with the stew he had boiled, and was going to bring it to the reapers in the field. When the angel of the Lord told him, take the meal you have to Daniel in the lions' den at Babylon. But Habakkuk answered, Sir, I have never seen Babylon, and I do not know the den. The angel of the Lord seized him by the crown of the head and carried him by the ears. With the speed of the wind, he set him down in the Babylon above the den. Daniel cried, Habakkuk, take the meal God has sent you. You have remembered me, O God, said Daniel. You have not forsaken those who love you. So Daniel ate, but the angel of God at once brought Habakkuk back to his own place. On the 17th day, the king came to mourn for Daniel. As he came to the den and looked in, there was Daniel sitting there. The king cried aloud, "You are great, O Lord, the God of Daniel, and there is no other beside you." He brought Daniel out, but those who had tried to destroy him he threw into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his eyes.